What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new open game state video. I haven't done one of these since the YCS or Prank Kids one, but there's some really cool cards that have been announced for Dark Neostorm that I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys because it really sparked my interest. So I figured I'd go ahead and share it because every now and then with these types of videos, I don't like to cover every single thing that comes out, only the things that really catch my eye. And I wanted to talk about some of the Dark Neostorm stuff. I also wanted to talk about Savage Strike stuff, but I haven't been paying too much attention to the Dark Neostorm leaks, which is the set I believe that's coming after Savage Strike. But there's some actually really cool cards here, and this was just posted on the org. It's like almost midnight now on the 9th. They have this posted as the 10th, so this will be going up on the 10th because it's really late at this point. But there's actually, as you saw in the title, new Mekk Knight card and a new Orcust card. That's what's on this crazy looking playmat up here. I remember seeing pictures of this playmat a little while ago, and now it's like I didn't realize it would actually become a card, and it wasn't apparent to me what archetype that card belongs to. And if you can think hard enough, you'll understand what that is a part of. So the first card here is actually a brand new Orcust card. It's called Orcust Dingirsu, or Orfeagle Dingirsu as it was called in the OCG, because they were called Orfeagles in the OCG. As when I did the featured archetype on the deck, they were called Orfeagles and now being called Orcusts, which is actually currently one of my favorite decks to play. And now we have a rank 8 to play with the deck, which is pretty cool. Orcust Dingirsu is a Dark Machine Ixies effect, rank 8, 2600 and 2100 defense, and it requires 2 level 8 monsters. So generic rank 8, but when I think Orcust, I don't really think rank 8, which is kind of interesting, but we'll get to that when we get to talk about the next card. Basically says you can only special summon Orcust Dingirsu once per turn. You can only Ixie summon this card by using one Orcust Link monster you control as material. Okay, so you can also Ixie summon this card by using one Orcust Link monster you control as material. Okay, see, I didn't even read that. I was assuming something else. I wanted to save it for the video. I didn't read the whole effect yet, but that is actually really crazy. You can Ixie summon this card by using an Orcust Link monster you control as material. That is crazy. Okay, so the first effect here, it says if this card is special summon, you can only activate one of these. You can activate one of these effects. My bad. Send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard, or attach one of your banished machine monsters to this card as material. And what is the other effect? If this card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach material from this card instead. So thinking about Orcust at this point, the fact that we now have the opportunity just to go into a rank 8 just by using one of our link monsters is actually really awesome, because it's going to give us the ability to get back cards from our banish zone to the graveyard, and ultimately be able to put back into the grave by detaching to save itself from destruction by battle or card effect. It also has the ability to remove cards by sending them to the graveyard. It doesn't destroy them. It doesn't look like it targets. It doesn't banish, doesn't destroy. It just sends it to the graveyard, and that is really, really, really nice to see. Because a lot of the Orcust Link monsters, and I'm thinking Longirsu, this one's named Dingirsu, but Longirsu requires you have to be linked, or you have to be linked with something in order to get that removal effect, which a lot of times isn't always easy to do if you don't have a lot of resources, especially with the way the arrows are oriented on Longirsu. Sometimes it require, like, if your opponent owns that right extra monster zone, it's kind of hard to even take advantage of that really nice effect he has unless you get a solid first turn setup with Bomber Dragon and Longirsu, like we've seen many times in the past. And if you aren't familiar with the Orcust deck, you can check out a test hand video I did, which should be up to be able to click right now if you want to check that out afterwards. Be annotated at the end of the video as well. But basically, that's really nice, and it can protect itself from destruction or card effects, which is like really, 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 really nice. So with the effects that it can activate only being able to be used when it is special summoned, I was kind of thinking there might be some synergy with the field spell, allowing you to use some of these effects in your opponent's turn, but they have to be activated when special summoned, which isn't too big of a deal. It's definitely a nice card when having to go second and trying to deal with boards. But overall, it's a really solid card. I think this card is going to be fantastic for Orcust. I'll definitely play this. This is not a card I was expecting to get for Orcust. I would have expected more of like a synchro down the road. I mean, I guess we're getting Borload Savage Dragon, especially with the new Orchestrated Nightmare card and the level 1 tuner that the deck has built in. I was expecting, you know, sort of a synchro, an Orcust themed synchro, and maybe we'll still get one, but a Link monster that you can, or an Xyz monster that you can just throw on top of a Link monster is pretty darn cool if you ask me, and it's definitely really nice for the archetype, and the artwork is just fantastic on this. So this is the next card. It's a new Mekk Knight card, which is amazing. Both two decks that I love to play, and I'm so happy to finally see it is a Mekk Knight Link 4, but it's not only a Mekk Knight Link 4, it is also a Crusadia Link 4. Because there's the whole lore with the Mekk Knights and the Crusadias, the Jak Knights and the Palladians, as they were called in the OCG. So it's really cool to see them now meshed together in one super awesome Link 4. I haven't read this effect yet, so it's the first time I'm seeing it. Link 4, 3000 attack. It's got, I believe, the same arrow setup that Borload Dragon does, so left, right, and then bottom left, bottom right. 2+ monster special from the extra deck, which isn't that hard of a requirement to meet in either, I would say, Mekk Knight. It's probably not that hard, especially a pure Mekk Knight, like making, like Spectrum Supreme with like a Morning Star. I'm forgetting some of their names, but I guess it's not that hard to make. But 2+ monster special from the extra deck isn't super hard to make when it's a Link 4, so just 2 Link 2s. That's a pretty easy summoning requirement for this card. It could be like 3+. So I'm glad it's not super over the top. So the other effect is, I guess, if this card was Link Summon, it cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target monsters for attacks except this one, which that's really nice. So just off the bat, if it's Link Summon period, it cannot be targeted, which is fantastic, just for so many things. And it cannot, your opponent can't target anything other for attacks except this one. And then I guess if you have, Morning Star on the field with this, maybe in another arrow or another zone or something, like your opponent is just really in a weird position where they can't beat over anything because of the Morning Star effect, which is super nice. Even if they were in like the same column, and they'd have to get over 3000 attack to begin with, which is that's an incredible effect of itself, and that is just an inherent effect it gains when Link Summon. The other effect is once per damage calculation, when this card battles a special summon monster, you can have this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's attack during this damage calculation only. So when this card, so it has a really awesome battle phase effect too, sort of like a Crystal Wing, sort of like a Construct. It just gains the attack of that card and damage calc too, which is really, really nice. So I like that effect. And then this card, if this Link Summon card is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can shuffle one card on the field into the deck. There was a really good card that did that same effect, but I can't remember what it was. But all solid effects for this new Mekk Knight Crusadia card. It's cool that it can be used in Crusadia, but it doesn't have, like the same added effects that a Crusadia monster would have, when something gets special summoned to a zone it points to. I think it would have been cool to kind of have an effect like that in there, but it looks like that's it. But like, I'm happy with that. That's super awesome to see. I'm super excited for these two new cards coming out in Dark Neostorm, and apparently there was a YouTube video made on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Official Card Game Lab channel, noteworthy card introduction. So they talked about these two cards, I guess, but I just saw the article here. Figured I'd share it with you guys. And then the last two cards I wanted to talk about for Dark Neostorm was just a couple other small cards. They're not too groundbreaking like the other ones, but this Witch Starling card is pretty cool. I figured since I've been doing a lot of stuff with Synchro Summoning lately, this card's really cool. Level 4 Wind, Winged Beast effect monster, attack 1000, defense 1500, Witch Starling. This card gains an effect based on your main monster zone it is in. So I don't think we've ever seen a monster get a different effect based on what zone it is placed in, which is super cool. Leftmost increase its level by 4, rightmost increase its level by 3, center increase its level by 2, others increase its level by 1. So like, That's an interesting effect. You can just normal it in the far leftmost zone, and it's a level 8. There's like a lot of things that can be done with that, I think, and the fact that it is, it's a winged beast. I don't know. Maybe that does something with black wings. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with those types of, you know, archetypes or whatever. Not really too familiar with those, but this is a really cool card. I thought I'd share with you guys if you didn't know about it already. And the other card is this card here, which is Dragon Whelp Larvular. I probably didn't pronounce that right, but it is a level 1 Dark Dragon effect monster, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use its first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if this card was there when that monster was destroyed, or hand, even if not, and if you do banish this card when it leaves the field. So that first effect reminds me of Sea Archiver. Basically, if something is a normal special summon to his own a link monster points to, you can summon it from your hand or grave, and it's literally worded the same exact way it is there, so that's sort of why I thought that. So if something you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you just get to summon it from your hand for free, which seems pretty cool. And then instead of a special summon, you can target a face-up monster in the field, discard a card. If you add to your hand one monster from your deck with that target's type and attribute but a different name. So this could be helpful in some mirror matches, I suppose. This card definitely seems like it could have some sort of place in the meta in the future, just by that inherent effect. Looks pretty cool too. It would appear a possible staple has appeared. That's what they say here, and I would have to agree with them on that, because it does seem like this card could just be extremely useful at some point in some sort of matchup, some sort of decks facing off against each other. I don't know. What do you guys have to think? I'm really excited for these two cards, especially since I play both of these decks. I think it's fantastic support. I love this Link monster, and the last thing I wanted to talk about is like the actual possibility of these two things meshing with each other. The fact that it's generic is nice, because it's just a rank 8 you can go into now that on summon just sends something, sends a monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, which could be like super helpful in some matchups, because again, it doesn't target, it doesn't destroy, it kind of gets around all of those barriers that some cards protect themselves against, Thunder Dragons being one of those decks. And I just really like that going forward. It could be useful in Photon Galaxy, it could be useful in Mekk Knight. Hell, we could even see Orcust and Mekk Knights being meshed together, which is actually something I didn't think of until I just started making this video. And then you could play cards like BLS in it and banish your Orcust stuff, and then like you could use it to get him back with this, and then there's so many other cool plays. I don't know. Just a thought, because I feel like Orcusts and Mekk Knights could kind of go together. Little synergy there. I don't know. Maybe we'll see that become a thing in the future, and you heard it here first. And yeah, you can thank me for your new Orcust Mekk Knight build. Boom. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like. Follow me on social medias. Don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist, our wonderful sponsor. As always, got some great playmats, sleeves, dice, etc., etc. Check them out. Links in the description. And as always, guys, winner kills sign out. We'll see you in the next one.